wonderful organization. I'll just introduce myself very shortly. I am Ahmet Köroğlu from Istanbul, Turkey. I am a faculty member of Istanbul University at Political Science Department. As you know, today the second day of the program, and since I have followed yesterday and today, all steps of the program is running perfectly so far. And I wish today's and tomorrow's program will also be very productive and meet the purpose of this forum. Now, I will moderate this third panel of the program, which titled Balkan's Youth Partnership, Prospects of Dialogue and Cooperation Through the Eyes of Balkan Youth NGOs. We will have 4 distinguished panelists from different backgrounds, but all of them focusing on this panel title, Balkan's NGOs Youth. But unfortunately, we will have only 40 minutes for this panel. We have very limited time. And so each panelist will have 6 or 7 minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes to deliver their speeches. And after the speeches, we will have question and answer section. Also, you may give your contributions or your comments about the speeches. As I said, if you have any questions, comments, or contributions, you can write down in the chat box, as well as you can ask directly after the speeches. Now, without wasting time, let's move on to our speakers. I want to introduce themselves. Our first speaker is Ali Pasijiti. I think it's correct pronunciation. And in fact, we were together 10 days before in the Skopje with Professor Ali Pasijiti with another academic program, an international symposium. And glad to meet you again, Professor Ali Pasijiti. Professor Ali Pasijiti is a sociologist, thinker, and researcher and translator. He is a professor of sociology, ethics, and anthropology at Southeastern University, North Macedonia, and also he is a lecturer at Illyria Royal College in Kosovo. He is a president of Balkan Sociological Forum, editor of humanities publications at Logos 8 Publishers, and he is member of the Council of Max Foundation Institute and Albis Foundation. He has many books in the field. Yes, Professor Ali Pasijiti, the first words is yours. Please welcome. You're unmuted. Okay.
Thank you very much for these good words on my CV. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer for this very interesting event or conference or meeting with youth from different countries of the world, especially from the Muslim world. And can I ask about the presentation? Can you see my presentation, please? No? No?
There's a presentation now.
No, just a moment, please.
Yeah, it looks okay now.
No. For myself, I cannot see my presentation.
We can see your presentation.
Okay, we can start. The topic of our session is Balkans Youth Partnership Prospects of Dialogue and Cooperation through the eyes of the Balkan youth and NGOs. I will start with a saying from Margaret Mead, who says that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Every contribution to build bridges between the youth and young is important for the community, for the group, for the community, for the society and the world also. You can see here a group of students from a project we realized on the Balkan youth and the values. There were students from Albania, from Kosovo, from Macedonia, from different universities like C University, Hasan Pristina University from Pristina, and Tirana State University. You will see later the results from this project based on the youth and the values. How the Balkan is perceived in general. The Balkan Peninsula in our life and in our communication, in the communication of external world, extra Balkan community, a special West community is perceived as half developed, half colonial and half civilized part of the world, and as the other of the Europe. It is known from dictionaries and from encyclopedias with the words or concepts of Balkanization and Balkanization, which means, as Thomas Hobbes described it, bellum omnium contra omnes, as the war of everybody contra everybody. It is called also kakostopia, or the worst place in the globe. From the religious aspect, the Balkans is multi-religious. It is multicultural. It is natural multiculturalism that exists in the Balkans, especially in the time of the Ottoman Empire, well known for its system of millets. When the convivencia or coexistence, peaceful coexistence, was well known throughout the world. But from the 19th century, when the so-called imagined communities were born, started a tragedy or Balkans tragedy, and the conflicts and the clashes between the communities and between the ethnicums and the peoples that live in the Balkans. From a religious aspect, we can see here Kosovo population 90% is Muslim. Albania's population 70% Muslim. Bosnia and Herzegovina 48, Macedonia 33, or third of the Macedonian population is Muslim. Montenegro 18, Bulgaria 14, and Serbia 5% of Muslim population. As from linguistic aspect or dimension, 55% of Muslim population in the Balkans speak Albanian. 32 Slavic speakers, from Bosniak to Torbesh and Pomak language, and Gorani in Kosovo, Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Greece. And 12% are Turkish speakers. There is a different picture of the position or status of the religion in the Balkan countries. Most of them are secular states, but for example, in Serbia, the Orthodoxy has elevated status of privileged community. In Macedonia also, and in Bulgaria, even though in the front of the state or in constitution, all religious communities are the same or are equal. But there is discrimination, especially in Macedonia and in Serbia.
Sorry, Professor, as I said, we have only 5 or 6 minutes for each panel.
Okay, I will try to conclude.
Thank you.
What is the communication of the youth in Balkan countries? I will take the example of Macedonia. The youth in Macedonia, Macedonians, which are Orthodox, communicate with each other only in the leisure time, and the natural communications in the cities and in the villages are very rare. They communicate also at university and the work places. So we can conclude that communication between youth or young in the Macedonia, it's not very positive and very warm. There are some pictures from core values at the Albanian youth in Macedonia, Kosovo, and in Albania is the peace. They want more independence. 61% of the youth like to be more independent, and religion at the Albanian students is very important. 54% of them said that religion is very important element. There are some NGOs in the Balkan countries which deal with the religion or religious or faith-based NGOs. And the dilemma is how we can produce communication between the youth of different religious backgrounds, between Muslims and Christians. In North Macedonia, there are some NGOs that deal with this problem or topic. For example, Center for Balkan Cooperation and Mladinski Obrazovan Forum or Youth Educational Forum. So, conclusion. We have a ditch between Muslim and non-Muslim youth, and the second is between Muslim youth of different ethnical background. As I said, majority of Muslim belongs in the Balkans belongs to two greatest communities, Albanians and Bosniaks. In real life, there is a very big linkage between Bosniak NGOs and Albanian NGOs. The NGOs, unfortunately, are nation based in the Balkans. I am a student from ex-student from the Sarajevo, and this unfortunately continues until now. The Balkan youth communicates through the lingua sacra of our time, through the English language, from colleges, universities like International Balkan University, International Sarajevo University, etc. And summer schools should be organized. The visits through Erasmus and Mevlana should be improved to have better communication between the Balkan Muslim youth. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Ali Bezici, for your presentation. We exceeded our time, 10 minutes, and I want to give the floor to our second panelist directly. Our second panelist is Hiba Letrashi from France. Hiba is here now, yeah?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Hiba is a currently law master student at Strasbourg University, and she was affiliated to many of NGOs so far, and she still continues some of them. Now she is vice president of Forum of European Muslim Youth and Student Organization, and also she is Human Rights Officer Coordinator at Project Meet European Commission, and she is program manager at Union of Justice. Okay, yeah, Hiba, floor is yours, please. You have 5 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you, Ahmed. I'd like to start as well. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace be upon you all. I'd like to start by thanking very much ICYF for the invitation to this first and hopefully not last Balkan Youth Forum. As Ahmed said, my name is Hiba. I serve as the Vice President of FEMISO, the Forum of European Muslim Youth and Student Organization, a network of 32 member organizations across 20 European countries, including 3 in the Balkans, Albania, Bosnia, and North Macedonia. Organizations like ours are well established, and alhamdulillah, we are proud to do the work that we do. But like was said before, the need is great, and we are still only managing to serve the surface of those who need support. And this is why sessions like this one today are so important. FEMISO, as I mentioned, is very proud to have 3 thriving member organizations hailing from the Balkans. And over the last 36 months, we have made an even more active effort to ensure that our organization fulfills our mandate of being truly diverse and cohesive. So that when people think of Europe, they don't immediately think of Paris or Brussels or Amsterdam, but also Tirana, Tetovo, and Mostar. As part of our efforts to ensure that our work reaches every single one of our member organizations, we actively chose to hold 3 of our most important and key training programs for Muslims all over Europe in the Balkan region. And so over the last year, we've had Muslim youth from over 15 different countries visit and be trained in this incredible region. In each of our trainings, we have used local trainers to provide us perspectives to the youth, which is very rare for many organizations, because for us, the perspective of a politician or an activist in the Balkans will provide as much wisdom to those from Western Europe. And so having personally spent most of my summer there and engaged and delivered in a session in these trainings, I have seen directly the importance of providing such platform and the instant benefits that comes with it. Because it is through this intercultural dialogue that we will see a truly Muslim European identity from itself. One that is across borders and ethnicities, and is based on a spiritual foundation of our collective beliefs. As the brother Ali mentioned before, we see often very locally based organizations. We need to go beyond those borders. So there are many challenges to achieve this in totality. But through our work, bringing European Muslim youth together, we really hope that we can achieve this in our lifetimes. Moving on, one thing that must never be taken for granted is youth engagement in civil society. From directly developing individuals that can take part in supporting their communities, to leading on work to upskill other youth, to providing professional skills, carry out advocacy, act as leader in the field research, in teams, and to creating other leaders. Civil society is also directly contributing to the creation of a better and stronger society. NGOs have a great impact on policymaking, but also on the grassroots level. So the youth must never be taken for granted. At FEMISO, we believe that we don't need youth-centered policies, as that should be the norm, but we should rather design all of our policies in a way that's inclusive of young people, as young people will be directly impacted by every policy enacted across the course of their lives. And so as someone who has been blessed, alhamdulillah, to be involved in grassroots communities activities from a young age, I can honestly state that civil society is integral to a functioning society. Without a robust and active civil society, governments and leaders would be free to do as they wish, with accountability reduced solely to the ballot box, if we're lucky. Through our work, we must also look further than on own direct areas of interest. We must also look at learning from one another. Our work must be centered on building bridges and through skill exchanges and allowing us to learn from each other's experiences. We have to use NGOs in our effort to build peace and actively lobby to secure change through them. Engaging with NGOs and CSOs, civil society organizations, is a great way to build peace. Through meeting and exchanging with different people, traveling, seeing new perspectives, we create more opportunities for cohesiveness. We must also look at how we can use the relationships we've developed to form effective coalitions, where we can use the collective strength and power together in order to achieve real action and change narratives. So I'm going to end now because I think it's been 5 minutes, but I'd like once again to re-emphasize FEMISO's commitment towards the Balkans and that we are looking forward to be working with the partners and institutions present today, as well as all the youth. And you can learn more about the work that we do and get involved by following us on our FEMISO website and social media. Jazakallah khairan. Back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Eva, for this good presentation speech. And you focus on the importance of NGOs on policy making and some other issues in the society. And this is very important and good contribution to our panel. And maybe you can add some more contributions after the panelists. Maybe there will be some questions about NGOs, how impacts on policy making, etc. And now I want to move on the third speaker, Züleyha Imarovska, but Zual Imeri. It's written Zual Imeri. Züleyha Imeri, sorry, Züleyha. There's another participant, Zual Imeri. Okay, Züleyha. Züleyha Imeri, she is representative of Forum Renewal Islam, and she is master student at Economics and Finance Department of King's College, London. Yeah, please, floor is yours, Züleyha Imeri.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope you can hear me, all of you.
Yeah.
So as a representative of Islamic Youth Forum from North Macedonia, I'd like firstly to express my gratitude to the Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum and other initiating organizers for providing this incredible opportunity to the Balkan youth to participate and express ourselves, but also have the chance to learn from other NGOs and representatives and professors. As far as I have been following all the speeches and the panels in this forum, I'm glad that this is a very inclusive and wide platform that has been provided for us. In my presentation, I would actually like to share some of our projects and activities of our organizations, and of course maybe some difficulties that we as Balkan youth and I personally have faced in North Macedonia. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the Balkan region has very slow progress throughout the years. And the political environment has resulted in socioeconomic and educational difficult conditions, discriminations, and lack of opportunities, especially for Muslims in the Balkans. Islamic Youth Forum has been from its establishment until now throughout its activities in North Macedonia, in different parts of North Macedonia, and also with cooperations with NGOs from different countries in Balkan, has been promoting and encouraging Islamic and human values and helping new generations to build skills with throughout the formal and non-formal education. As you actually may know, the Balkans is one region with a lot of countries and ethnicities and religions. So it's important for its regional development, first of all, to establish a deep and long cooperation between countries. But we also know that for this to be happen between countries is a very long and complex procedures and much more difficult. So this is why the organizations and NGOs and the youth, actually, the cooperation between them is more important, because we have the potential to engage and lead and actually accelerate this cooperation and the development of cooperation between countries, which in turn the organizations in the countries and will benefit, and the countries by its help. And as an organization that has been active for more than 20 years, it has recognized the importance of cooperation, and there have been actually a very successful organized activities between us and other different organizations, with Albania, Montenegro, and Kosovo in particular. These activities have included like visits, conferences, and panels. In our biggest events and activities and projects, we have been able to invite speakers from different NGOs, and to be able to interact with them and learn from them and cooperate with them in general. So this is why this is the cooperation between NGOs is important. Moreover, more than theoretical, I would like to present you two of the projects that we have been working on recently. So the first one is the Balkan Youth Academy, which is already planned and ready to be realized. And the other one is Balkan Student Union. For the first one, Balkan Youth Academy, considering this time of this hard period which we are going through with COVID, and after that period, in terms of health, in terms of social economic conditions, cultural and psychological aspects, in one hand, and the other hand, the education which has been transferred in online education system, and the youth activism actually has been slowing down. And as countries or as an organization, we are aware that we haven't been able actually to use the widely used online platforms to actually keep on with our activities and keep on with our interaction with the youth and not slow down. So this youth academy aims to invite different speakers from all Balkans, experts in different areas, and also high school students, university students, and those who are who work on this in this area, to find a solution to incorporate online platforms more in our activities, and so we don't fall behind and we don't slow down and we don't lose that interaction with the youth. This project is, as I said, ready and will be realized, inshallah. And for the second part of the project, is actually a project in progress, is planned, but it's not ready to be actually realized. And it's we know we give as an organization very much importance to education. So this project's aim is to gather students from all Balkans in one platform and work on education, educational opportunities, and problems maybe related to it. With this, for example, new students who are ready to join the university or to go further with their education will have a platform or one place to learn about this. If I can give an example to be clearer, we do this with universities in North Macedonia, actually, and in Turkey. So the way it's work is that we research about scholarships and different requirements that universities wants from students who will apply, or next students or next generations. And then these informations we share with those who are in high school or those who are in university and want to go further on with their education. And we help them with the applying process, with the we help them to prepare for example, if universities wants entry exams and other conditions, for example. So the students there in North Macedonia will have the opportunity to actually have information about what they want to do way before and have the time to be prepared for it. So this has been a very small scale project which we have been leading for years, and I'm sure that all the organizations in Balkans do that too. But it would be very, very good if we actually have one platform in all Balkans where students will have a place to turn when they want to do something and want to have an opportunity and want to use that opportunity. So in this, I would like also to use this panel and opportunity to invite those representatives or NGOs and youth who actually want to build with us together this and help to improve it and have a very, very beneficial and good project at the end. As a student who has used this help from my organization personally, I would confidently say that this is was very important and crucial for me and very beneficial. So yeah, that's my presentation, and hope I didn't take much time. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Zeha, for this presentation. I recognize that you made your speech very fast because it's not easy to fit all these projects in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So much, may Allah your works and projects in your region, your country. And now I move our last speaker. Our fourth speaker is Dr. Malik Ubji. He's a doctor of medicine at Zenica, and besides this, he's interested in politics and youth. He is currently Secretary General of SDA Youth Party of Democratic Action in Bosnia. Yeah. Dr. Malik, are you here? Yeah, okay, please.
Yes, can you hear me?
The mic is yours, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to try to share screens. So first of all, technical issues and then other things. Do you see my presentation?
Just a moment, no. I couldn't see you, but I could see your presentation. It's on black screen. Yeah, okay, now I can see the presentation. Okay. Everyone can see the presentation? Yeah, okay. Okay, please go ahead. It's okay now.
Okay, can you hear me again and see the presentation?
Yes.
Just to double check. I got the memo from Zoom that something was crashing. So, okay. First of all, assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to everyone. It's quite an honor and pleasure to be here as a panelist in one such event, such as First Balkan Forum. And first of all, I really do hope that this will not be the last one and that we will be able to organize next one live when this whole pandemic thing is over. Like You introduced me. My name is Malik Ubji, and I'm Secretary General of Youth SDA, previously acted in NGO sector. So I'm going to share a few personal experiences today about my time in NGO, as well as connection between NGO and political parties. First of all, when we're doing a project, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress, and working together is success. A year ago or so, I went to Istanbul, and I held a meeting with His Excellency Chairman of ICYF, Mr. Taha Ayhan, where we decided to try to organize something like Balkan Youth Forum, and finally seeing it working today, it's quite an honor. First of all, why NGO itself are even important? Because NGOs play an important role in helping out the common man with rightful demands, and they also try to help needy people in every possible way. What I want to put emphasis on is that first and foremost, NGOs are responsible for disseminating education among the people at large and making them aware of their rights. Like I said, I'm putting special emphasis on the education because through certain personal photos and personal experience, I will share the importance of cooperation between youth NGOs, umbrella NGOs for different projects when it comes to education, which helped me as a young doctor in my hometown, for example, working with COVID patients, because I've been using these techniques, skills, and knowledge acquired during these education seminars.
Sorry, Dr. Malik.
Yes?
Now you are still sitting on the first page. It is correct? Or you can...
Okay, I stopped sharing screen. Okay, apparently there's some sort of technical difficulty. I will try to continue without presentation in order to avoid crashing. I'm not sure where the problem is, but regardless, I'll keep my work on. Okay, do you see now?
No, unfortunately, Dr. Malik.
Okay, never mind. I'll keep just with oral part. So
you can try last time. I think there will be no problem. You can try last time.
Okay, I don't want to use a lot of time, so I'll try once more.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
No, unfortunately.
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry for technical difficulty. I'll keep on the way this part. So, what are the main problems in the Balkans when it comes to NGO sector? Main problems in the Balkans are basically trust issues, and I'm not talking about trust issues in between different ethnic groups, nations, and so on and so forth. I'm talking about trust issues in Balkans in general. We are specific type of people. We're constantly asking if someone is going to try to trick us or do something against us, and so on and so forth. So that's also regarding different type of projects and cooperation. Of course, politics. I'm not going to enter that domain because it's too complicated. And then we come to economics and legislative. Economics, of course, all countries in the Balkans are part of the developing world, and we sometimes have certain economic difficulties in order to provide financing for certain projects. And moreover, we also have problems with law when it comes to NGOs and specific framework where our NGOs work. When I was chairman of a certain student NGO, we always had problems because it's sometimes difficult to distinguish between NGO and the company when it comes to legislative. So it's always quite challenging for young people to head an NGO and to perform different types of projects in order to do everything according to law. Of course, we have many things together. First of all, we share almost the same language. We have mutual history together, and we are able to understand each other when it comes to lifestyle, when it comes to communication, when it comes to projects, and so on and so forth. This is the part where I would like to disagree with Professor Payazitti when it comes to contact among youth organizations. My personal experience with all different types of NGOs from my country as well as from other countries in the region is positive. It's not only contact between different NGOs when it comes to projects and none in leisure period. It's always positive contact. We exchange knowledge, congresses, education, and ideas for different types of projects. So I've always been using these situations in order to gain knowledge. Like I said, the one I used when it comes to my everyday life. So since we are experiencing certain technical difficulties, I'm not able to show you photos right now. I've been preparing those photos from my personal albums, seminars, education, contacts from youth organizations, umbrella NGO organizations from Serbia, Kosovo, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, of course, Croatia, Albania. We always had good communication. We always attended seminars together, and there was no problems. I strongly believe that there are new generations who are willing to cooperate with one another in order to achieve mutual progress. So when we're talking about role of NGOs and perspective of NGOs, like one of the previous speakers has mentioned, I believe that there's no strong society without strong NGO sector, because we are available and we are free to do certain projects without boundaries that political parties usually have when we are cooperating between each other. Because NGOs are the one that should break those boundaries. Communication between young people through NGO sector is one thing we have to do. So what are we as young people able to do in order to achieve that mutual cooperation? First of all, Balkan Forum and similar forums, similar gatherings, online or live, which are the ones we have to use in order to achieve mutual understanding, cooperation, and respect. Dialogue has no alternative. Discussion, meeting new friends, meeting new colleagues. That's the one thing we have to use in our everyday life. Better tolerance. We have to understand that having different opinion on certain topic does not have to mean that we hate someone, that we don't like someone, that conflict of opinion is not conflict between persons. So just to sum up, Balkan Youth Forum as an idea, I believe, can provide a great platform for us to work together. I believe that we are not putting enough emphasis on the education that can be education seminars, education programs that can be organized under the umbrella of NGO sector. We have to use these platforms in order to meet new people, in order to connect and to organize different types of education programs. Once again, it was really an honor and pleasure to participate. I've cut the story short a bit since I'm not able to show you certain photos, but I'm looking forward to discussion, to questions and answer. And I'm really looking forward to further communicate with colleagues I met today and that I will meet tomorrow or in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Malik. And now we have come to the end of the time given to us. Even we used 10 minutes more, but I hope we can use 10 minutes more for questions with permission, Mr. Sümeyye, if they give us 10 minutes more for questions. Now, okay, if you have any questions, please raise your hands and I'll give the microphone to your questions, or you can write down in chat box. Maybe I can ask to the panelist person. Okay, the first hand is Mohammed from Indonesia, yeah? Okay, Mohammed, please. Very shortly.
Okay, thank you for the chance. In this matter, I would like to ask my question toward Mr. Ali Pajazidi, is it right?
Yes.
So one of the points that he addressed during the presentation is that there is a ditch between the young Muslim and non-Muslim youth, young people in the area of Balkan. There is a ditch. Can you please tell me more about that? How big is the ditch? I mean the level, and then can you provide the example of that one? Thank you.
Thank you for this question. The communication is imposed by international community, unfortunately. For example, between the Albanian youth and Macedonian youth. in North Macedonia, an example of North Macedonia. In Kosovo, the situation is more complicated. In Serbia also, there is no real communication except the international conference of NGOs, etc. There is no natural communication between the Muslim youth and non-Muslim youth. Especially, the situation is complicated between the young Serbs and young Albanians. Also in Macedonia, we have a differentiation in education system. We have in Macedonia schools exclusively Albanian, where the education is in Albanian language and where the education is in Macedonian language, ethnic Macedonian, because the name of the country is North Macedonia. And I have a question to Dr. Malik Ubji.
No question? Okay,
Yes.
from panelist to panelist. Okay, very short, okay?
Do you know the names of the two most important Muslim-based NGOs in North Macedonia and Kosovo?
That's the question. Can I answer?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah.
Can you mention the names of two most important Muslim-based NGOs in Albanosphere, in Albanian-speaking area?
To be quite honest, no. But I was not talking about this when I disagreed with your discussion. I wasn't talking about cooperation between Albanosphere, Bosniak sphere, or any sphere. I'm talking about cooperation between youth in general. Because when we last time had sphere discussion, we had a breakup of Yugoslavia. And we had war and we had genocide in Bosnia. I believe that dividing upon spheres is not an option for us. To be quite honest, I'm talking about discussion. When I had the opportunity to discuss with colleagues from different youth NGOs in ex-Yugoslavia in general, I didn't have problem when we were talking about things that are important for the youth people, for young people in general. When we entered the domain of politics, then we have certain problems. I'm not talking about Muslim youth organization. I'm talking about youth organizations in general. And that was my opinion. I'm not talking about dividing organizations based on ethnicity or religion. And to be quite honest, I was somehow it wasn't nice to put that we had problem with Bosniization of the Balkans, like you put in your presentation.
Yes. You know,
Okay.
We have translated in Albanian Bosniak theologians like Zilka Spahic, Ahmed Alibasic, but there is no vice versa, unfortunately.
Possible. I will hold you for granted that, because I will not say yes or no, because I've just said I'm not acquainted with the fact. Possible. I respect your knowledge and the topic. I suppose that you are better acquainted with the issue than I am. But like I said, I don't want to transform this panel and discussion between two of us. I have a lot of things that I also disagree with the concept of the dividing youth organizations during your presentation. But
Mr. Malik,
sorry.
we are divided. We live in different countries and we speak different languages. And now we are talking in English.
Yes, we are divided. Of course, we are different ethnicities, but we are here in order to provide bridging between different ethnicities, between one religion. So I believe that on a seminar like this one, division between youth should not be an option. I believe that building bridges should be an option, because as a president of one of the Bosnian medical students associations, I was strongly advocating during session in Malta in order for Montenegro to be host of another. I was strongly advocating for then former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, now Republic of Northern Macedonia, to gain access and to vote in one of those sessions. So we are strongly working in order to achieve better communication. Is it okay? Of course not. We have
okay,
to,
sorry for interrupting, but we have to pass a chance to our listeners ask their questions. And Hafiz Gifari, I see your hand. Do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question maybe to Mr. Malik.
Okay, please, very short, okay? Also, Mr. Malik, please answer this question very short, okay? We don't
okay.
Mr. Malik, sorry to ask you, but previously in your presentation, I believe that you mentioned that education is one of the most important things that the youth in the Balkans must achieve. And what I want to ask is that, is it possible in the future if youth from the Balkans meet regularly or meet with youth from other regions, including maybe from the Middle East or maybe the Asian countries, to discuss like what can they do? Like maybe these youths that come from other countries can help the youth in the Balkan to address their problems and find the solutions. Is it possible in the future? What do you think? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. To keep the story short, I believe yes. I had different types of personal experiences with my colleagues regarding of my profession, educations that are helping me in everyday practice. In 15 or 20 days, I'm going to Serbia, to Belgrade, to spend 15 days on education of certain type. Friends from other countries are coming to my country to participate in different types of education, as well as this political part in civil society. Of course, the world is full of diversity, so we have to agree to disagree on certain topics. But I believe when it comes to education and when it comes to mutual knowledge and mutual perspectives in European Union, that there was a certain question in chat. Yes, I believe that our mutual future lies in the European Union as a community, and I believe that this can be a strong platform for us to exchange knowledge and exchange ideas, because the only thing that can help us move further and to grow as a nation, as young people, as person, is education, knowledge. Knowledge is the only thing that has no alternative. So educated people tend to act differently. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. We have to end now for the panel. In fact, there are some other questions in the chat box as well, but we don't have to forward to the panelists. And now I want to give the microphone to Mrs. Sumaya to end of this panel. Thank you so much for our panelists and for all the listeners for the discussions and for the good presentations. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum and to Mr. Taha Ayhan as well. So before I start, I would like to introduce myself as a representative of the Cultural Association Visioniem. I have been part of this association since 2008, and I have taken part of so many cultural activities and so on. So I'm supposed actually to share a story about Skopje, about North Macedonia that I have experienced myself. A few years ago, a friend of mine actually from Turkey decided to visit Skopje, and before he came, he was asking me question, what's something interesting about Skopje? What can we see in Skopje? And I shared some pictures about old places of Skopje, of North Macedonia, you know, whenever, like, you know, we could go and so on. But, you know, he was trying actually to get something more from me. You know, he wanted actually to get the unique part of Macedonia. So my presentation is a bit linked with the presentation of Professor Ali Bayazid. You were able actually to see numbers, you were able actually to see different cultural background, and this is what I have actually tried to name the story, the presentation, with the cultural diversity that Skopje has. And after he came, I actually took him to the Grand Bazaar to the Üsküp Çarşısı, and after some time he stopped me and he said to me, like, what language did you speak right now? And what language, you know, did you just speak right now? And I said, I spoke Macedonian. After some time, I actually, I talked in Turkish with some other guy, and after some time in Bosnian language and so on. And he said to me, this is a very, you know, interesting, you know, this is something that I asked you before, but you didn't answer to me. And I came to realize that we have this cultural diversity in Skopje that I wasn't aware before. I never thought that we live in such a cultural, different cultural background, you know. And I said to him, okay, I will take you to some neighborhood with larger number of one ethnicity, you know. For example, I took him to Rams neighborhoods that they speak, for example, Gypsy language, and the number of population is very high. For example, they share a very huge number of population as well. And this is actually that is something unique, something interesting about Skopje, about North Macedonia as well. For example, I have had the opportunity, for example, to live in Istanbul because I have studied there for 5 years, and I don't want actually to make now a comparison between Skopje and Istanbul because this is a very something else actually. But I just wanted actually to share this story with you about the cultural diversity that we experience every day. We see, for example, different cultural background every day. For example, from Macedonians, from Albanians, from Turkish, from Bosnians, from Rams. We hear the languages at the same time. For example, we hear Macedonian, Albanians, and so on. And this, it helps us, for example, to broaden our mind, to get adapted wherever we go, to get adapted with different cultural background abroad from North Macedonia, and so on. So this is actually that I wanted to share with you today. So I want to end and to thank you, all of you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, it was very inspiring speech to see this cultural diversity in Balkan society. I think it really fits the message of this forum. Thank you so much. Dear participants, the forum will continue with a workshop in which you will prepare